Good afternoon, family. Welcome again to another broadcast of All Plantation Radio. So glad that you guys can join us. It's wonderful, wonderful day as we have made it to Friday. Some people call it a good Friday. I say every day is a good day. It ain't just today, it's every day. So glad to have you guys here with us. We'll be starting here momentarily. So you just go ahead and grab you a seat. And a couple of announcements we need to make first before we get started. And then we're going to go ahead and just dive in on the topics that we have for today. Just a quick reminder, we are, in fact, simultaneously broadcasting over on mybondtube.com. We don't ever put our eggs all in one basket. We put them in several baskets and make sure that the other ones, we own it. And so there we go. So Samba Tree, wow. MyBondTube.com. That's where we are. And you can check us out over there, okay? If you don't want to be here on YouTube, I don't blame you. I did that one. I did that one too. All right. Let's see. Someone said Sika said something here. Hold on. All right, welcome again to another broadcast of All Plantation Radio. I am so glad that you guys can join us today, and we're going to get into it. We're going to be scoping the news headlines like we always do when we do these broadcasts. Again, so glad that you guys can join us. Hope you have good plans for the weekend. You know, little plans, big plans, small plans, it don't matter. Just, you know, make sure that in your plan you have you fit in some time to get some good, much needed rest and as much exposure to the sun as possible. I tell you, we're huge fans of the sun, meaning, you know, our bodies are designed to be exposed to the sun at maximum. All right. That's not just me. I'm not just saying that just to be saying that, family. I'm saying that because I tell you, that alone will cure so many of the things that we deal with in terms of our health. Psychologically as well. Nobody's telling you to pray to the sun. Okay. So don't get off on that. I'm simply saying that the importance of sunlight it's so critical for us as a people. So you want to make sure to the best of your ability that you get out there and you expose your body, your eyes. All right. We're going to do a video. We just did a video broadcast last night. It's Samba Tree in the Labs, Samba Tree in the Labs. And we're going to be doing a whole series of those. And one of the ones I know I want to talk about is we're going to talk about how to make last night we talked about how to make your own colloidal silver. And that is now available here on mybondtube.com because I had uploaded and I was like, where is it? And I didn't see it. So I had to upload it again. So it's there now. And so yeah, on mybondtube.com, I'll just go ahead and show you exactly where it is. So I'm on the home page right here. It's right here. It's right here. All right, so it's right here. Samba tree in the lab, how to make colloidal silver. So if you haven't checked that one out, make sure you check it out. I have a channel on here. Okay. Yes, along with a lot of other people, but any videos I upload, you just do a search for my name, Duane, and you'll find all the videos that I've uploaded. But I ain't the only one on here. Okay, don't get it twisted. There's a lot of other people on here that's been uploading some very, very good, informative information for you, for me, for all of us. Things that oftentimes you ain't gonna find here on YouTube or a lot of these other platforms that are busy at work, snatching things off left and right. When it comes to keeping our people informed on these things. So. Yeah, so we have that place over there. It's on mybondtube.com. Sika said, greetings, bro. I sure wish you would research the Jackson, Mississippi is having a serious issue with trash waste management. I didn't know that. Okay, now I know. It's really a mess. We have not had anyone pick up our trash since last Thursday. Well, I'll take a look in that and see what's going on with that. That don't sound too pleasant at all, especially when it gets hot. That's crazy. So yeah, we'll look into that and see what's going on there. And, and I've done it before. We got to make some phone calls and find out what's going on. So be it. There was a county, I can't remember. It was in Alabama. They were doing some crazy stuff, around election season. And I actually called the DA and I interviewed him. And I said, I'm recording this and all, and I just want to, we did a full interview. I was asking her what's going on here because we're getting, people telling us some crazy stuff is going on down there. So, yeah, let's use our power, the little power that we have, but it's power nonetheless. And if we need to flex a little bit, let's do that. Like I said, again, I did not know that, but now I do. Because, see, here's the thing, too, you got to understand is that in places like New York City, for example, or Philadelphia, when they have these strikes, and I'm not saying that's the case down in Mississippi where you are, but I'm just speaking where we are here, like in the Northeast, it's becomes the center of everybody's universe. Because why? It's New York City. What else is in New York City? All the headquarters of all the news media. So, of course, they have to deal with it. So they're going to talk about that, right? That's you see that happen all the time. But somewhere like a Mississippi, for example, unless a black kid gets shot by a white cop, we don't care about it. Ain't that sad? And isn't that crazy? And so we'll do something about I'll look into it and see what's going on. And like I said, again, if we got to call somebody, email, whatever, let's find out, because as much hell as y'all been catching, just in Mississippi, period, the last thing y'all need to be dealing with is uncollected trash. And like I said, especially with all that heat and stuff like that, it's ridiculous, right? So anyway, we'll look into that. But thank you for bringing that to my attention, Seeker. Okay, so let me see. So today we're going to talk about, there's a couple things I want to let you guys know. Number one, I wouldn't say every week, but I would say between Friday and Saturday, we try to do a Samba teaching. And if you're brand new to the platform, what that is basically, it's our time spending talking about the Bible. I think that's probably the best way I can put it down. And but really diving in and doing some study. But when I mean study, I mean historical study, where we're looking at things from multiple angles. Okay. And we're questioning things. And then we're just ultimately, we leave that up to the people. We always, provide you with links to things, sources that we use, all of that, so that you as an individual, you can take that information and you can do further your own investigation and research. Now, I will tell you up front that we've had people who were rah in the beginning, but after a while, when they start seeing that, wait a minute, now this is getting real now, this is cutting too close now. All of a sudden they doing that Homer Simpson gif, where he's like, starts off, he's there. Next thing you know, he fading in the bushes. So yeah, I've seen my fair share of that as well. But we're just questioning things, and and we should do that, because again, we as a people have been given a lot of bad information, and we've just accepted things just because. And as a result, there's been a lot of damage that has been done, just across the board, not just, spiritually, of course, but also mentally and also physically. And we're trying to address the physical part, like what we do with Samba Tree, and just every part of Samba Tree. So you got that, but spiritually and mentally as well, because those two parts, they do work together. They should work together. Sometimes we separate the two, no, they need to work hand in hand. And so that is where we want the spiritual and the mental part. That's what we deal with during our Samba teachings there, where again, we ain't just telling you a bunch of stuff and saying, believe us or get out of here. No. We're going to say, let's lay this out. Some of this stuff is going to be quite uncomfortable, because of some of the things. It's like when you start finding out the truth of some of this stuff, it's like, man, it can be very perplexing. Let's just put it that way. And for some people, they're just not ready for that. And I understand that, and I completely get that. But we're in pursuit of the truth. Okay. And to do that, there's got to be some serious dialogue. There has to be some serious investigation. And it's going to take a great deal of honesty. You know what I mean? And so that's what we try to do during our Samba teaching. So that will take place. We are planning for that 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight over on mybondtube.com. We do it over there because, again, YouTube, I don't want to be restricted by anything with YouTube at all, because if I need to call some people out, some certain groups of people out, we need to do that. You know what I mean? And that's it. I don't want them flagging me because I'm telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so that will be, again, about 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll start at that time. And then there you go. So you're more than welcome to join us for that. Okay. Let me see what else. So we got that covered. I talked about that. So today we're going to talk about several things. I've been keeping my eye on this stuff that has been going on. Well, I couldn't help but not to. I was on Twitter, and man, I mean, between last night and today, it has been blowing up with this stuff that's going on in Tennessee. But we're going to take a look at what's going on in Tennessee, really. We're going to take a good look at that, because what you're saying right now is you have certain powers that shouldn't be, that are desperately looking to build a new MLK. And we're going to look at these individuals here, and we're going to look at a little bit of their history, the parts that we can find, and we're going to talk about it. And because it's a lot more than meets the eye. Okay. When it comes to that particular situation, we're also going to follow up on, the situation. And like I said, I didn't really even want to touch on that whole issue, the Angel issue, the young lady out of LSU, that whole situation. Because like I said, again, it's just whatever. I think that story kind of ties in to what I was just talking about with the whole Tennessee, the Tennessee thing. And I told you. Yes, I told you that I said she's going to need to sit down, respectfully. She's going to need to sit down. She's going to need to sit down, take your win and just ride into the next chapter of your life. But the more these people throw the microphone in her face, it turns not too good. And it's quite embarrassing to see how some people in this latest thing that happened, trying to cover up for it. And then it's like, no, just stop it. Just stop it. And so it's just, whatever. So we're going to talk about that as well. Let me see what else I have in there. We might have something else here more on an international scale. We're going to talk about that. I also want to talk about the, this Dylan dude, we've talked about that whole Dylan dude, the guy that was doing the ad he's getting ads like literally left and right. left and right, left and right. I mean, every place I turn around, I see this dude looking crazy, and all these ads he's getting. But it's quite interesting though, because we do need to do a quick history lesson on, other people who had a hard time getting ads with these same companies, and the twisted logic that's out here that overlooks this stuff. It's totally insane. And so we'll talk about that as well. And I think that probably rounds it all out on what we're going to talk about. But first, let me mention this to you. I was having a conversation with someone recently. We were talking about on the continent of Africa. We were looking at, I was watching a video, and they were talking about, it's a particular country, Ohio. The country of Ohio in Africa, yeah. Congo. It must have been the O I saw anyway in my mind, but Congo. They were talking about how in this video, it's a entrepreneur doing very good work there, and she was talking about the someone had brought up the bottled water situation over there, and how, just like sadly in many African countries, certainly not all, but you have pockets throughout the continent where water is not properly filtered and all this other stuff, which contributes to sickness and disease and stuff like that. And so someone had mentioned, they said, hey, this was in a video I was watching. They said, why is it that I'm in the heart of Africa, and here I'm seeing all these bottled water companies with European names like Canadian water, Swiss water, Italian water, in Congo, in Africa. And it was like, why is that? I'm in Africa. Why can't you have your own stuff? What the heck? I'm in the middle of Africa. Why am I holding up a bottle and it's got Switzerland on it? Or why does it got Italian on it? It's fresh from the mountains. The ice-capped mountains of Switzerland comes this water straight to Congo, to the depths of dark Africa. What in the world? So the young woman that was being interviewed, she responded, and sadly, this was her response. She said, the reason why that's the case, and it's not just in Congo, ladies and gentlemen, this is literally, you'll find this in many other places on the continent. And what she said was the reason why that's the case is because of the fact, if you were to put a bottle of water and you put on there and you called it Congo water, or you called it whatever, name the African country, there's a lower probability that people would not buy it because they would not trust the quality of it. So they have to print European company names on it in order to get people to buy it. Ain't that crazy? And, and because the people over there, when it comes to how Europeans are seen versus their own, Europeans are seen at a much higher regard. And so, was conversing with someone over there and they confirmed it. And so, but I also followed up with this. I said, it's not just over there. That's not solely an African problem, because what you also see, you also see this same kind of mindset right here in the good old US of A. You see it all in the Caribbean. You see it in Central and South America as well. There's this mindset that we have as a people across the board. Many of our people do, where we value them as much as we may call them out on their stuff and say how racist they are and how evil and how wicked and all this other stuff. As much as we may call them out on their stuff, still deep inside, there is this rush, if you will, to be affirmed and accepted by these people. And that has literally, Tyrone said the white man's water is colder. Exactly. And so, and it's also not just when it comes to economics, but also when you get to spiritual matters as well. And they have trained us in so many ways to push, any form of, when we say African spirituality. Now, remember, we did a whole series only barely scratching the surface on African spirituality. We said there are things in there that we can learn from, and there's other things in there that, we definitely need to stay away from. But I said again, in that whole series, I kept saying over and over again, I said, when you talk about African spirituality, that's a wide open space. It's a wide open space. And so us here in the U.S., we can never cover that whole space, but we can talk about the parts that we are familiar with. And that's what we did. So yes, there are things within that whole space that we can learn from, for sure. And some of y'all may be looking already saying, see, I knew it. You about that ancestral. Why your mind always go there? Nobody ain't talking about that. But for example, this week I was looking at, I was doing a study on monotheism. Monotheism. And do you know what that means, right? Many of you already know. Monotheism is basically the belief that there is one supreme God or one supreme deity. Now, what we've been taught is that pretty much monotheism was something that started with the Abraham religions, like, Judaism, Christianity, or Islam, or whatever, that it came from there. And ultimately it came from Abraham. That's what we're taught. That's not true. It's not true at all. Monotheism is something that started prior or before Abraham. Again, and I put Abraham in quotes there, and I have my reasons for that. But monotheism, when you start looking at it, Africa has a very rich history when it comes to monotheism. Now, you will find throughout through the African plane, if you will, that yes, you do have many cultures that have they practice polytheism, which means, you acknowledge many gods, right? But when you start looking at some of these ancient cultures and you start looking at their spirituality, you will find that monotheism has been very present for an extremely long time. And one can really make the argument that it was Christianity that actually got the idea of monotheism from Africa. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into that because that is something I'm still looking into. And monotheism is something that you also find like in it was some extent you found it in like in Mesopotamia, which is going, like I said, again, going way back before there was an Israel, all that stuff. But it was it was on a small scale. But when you start looking at some of these ancient kingdoms in Africa outside of Egypt, you will find that monotheism was something that was very present. And these are many things, family, that has been taken from us. And we don't know, so now so this is a journey that we have to embark on to start recovering some of this stuff. And so that as we get more and more pieces on the table, then by his spirit, we can kind of sort through what is and what isn't. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do, on during our Samba teaching. So again, you are more than welcome to join us on that, as we're just kind of on it, taking a deep and honest look at these things, because we need to look at it, because family when I tell you the mental slavery that they have us in as a people, it's insane. It really is. It's insane. And I don't think that there are many people, maybe even in the chat right now, you may not really fully see it. I don't really fully see it, but I'm gonna tell you, the more and more I'm learning, I'm just like, my goodness, my goodness. So anyway, so we're going to be talking more about that in the very near future. But those types of discussions we typically have over there on our mybondtube.com. All right. Let me take a quick look here on the community page right quick here. It was a post. I think y'all saw it earlier today. Let me get this up here. All right. So let me get this up here. There you go. All right. So yeah. So just real quick, just so that I can show you on our page here, just how much expansion we've been doing here. So yeah, it's growing, growing again. Just like a tree, you got to cut a lot of that extra stuff off. And that's what we did. We had almost 1,000 videos on here, and we took them pretty much all of them down. And when you know better, you do better. When you learn new things or whatever, you're like, okay, well, that's going to have to go. We're going to have to do that. So we starting again. And so it's been going wonderful. And so now what we've added is podcast, the digital plantation. All right. Because the digital world, as we know, it is one big plantation. And then we have our section of shorts, that we're adding shorts. Last couple of days, I don't think I've added anything on here, but we got a whole line of shorts, and I got a lot more I'm going to be adding there. Here's a section for the live streams. Any live streams we've done, it's right here on the front page here as well. You can access that. And then also videos that I've just uploaded. They're not live. These are just videos I uploaded. We have a section for that as well. And I also found out about the YouTube stories. I'm gonna figure that out and how to use that too. We're gonna use all this stuff here. Let me see here. Let me scroll down here. Did y'all see this here? Y'all see? And I checked it. It's unfortunately it's a true story. It's a true story. World revelation. Oh man. Nigerian lawyer unveils self, of course she did, as the queen of Revelation 12, reveals rapture date. Okay, here we go with the date setting again. All right. Oh my goodness. And yeah, we done dealt with people like this too. And it ain't just enough. For my Nigerian brothers and sisters, take heart. You ain't the only ones. It's other people that do this stuff too, okay? Because I know sometimes my Nigerian brothers and sisters, they're like, it ain't just us. I know it ain't just y'all, okay? But why y'all keep coming up? Anyway, oh my goodness. And as I pointed out, I looked at that eye. Now that behind you should be enough. That should be enough in your right there to leave this all the way alone. Okay, it should be enough to say, you know what? I need to leave this joint all the way alone. Okay, I don't need to hear from you. Don't touch me. Don't prophesy for me. Nothing. When you got the great eye. When you got the all-seeing eye looking at you, because I'm telling you now, let me zoom in here. Now that pupil is looking down. That pupil is looking down and saying, what? What did you say? What you claiming here? That pupil is looking right back at her kitchen. Looking right at it saying, no, about that. And what's so sad, family, is like I said, you got people, it's so bad. You got folks out here that will pay for that. I was just talking to my wife that yesterday, either yesterday or the day before. I said, you know what really bothers me, and it's sad to see this. You have people out here that will pay for deception. I mean, they will pay to be deceived. Out of their pocket, they will pay to be deceived. And YouTube, I always be, when I get an opportunity to check other people out, I do. And a lot of times when I'm on YouTube, I just be looking for a good laugh. I really do. I don't always be looking for good, like serious stuff, even though I do watch a lot of that. But sometimes I'm like, man, I just want something to laugh at, And there's a brother out here, Moorish TV. Now, me mentioning his name, y'all, doesn't mean I'm a Moor now. I ain't nobody claiming that. Okay, I'm not a Moor. Don't want to be a Moor. All right, no. So it's not. So please, I have to say these things for some people because people just go off. But anyway, if anything, this brother will have you laughing. And he has been exposing a great deal of what's been going on out here. He's been on everyone from Tariq Nasheed to, and then he was talking about Vicky Dillon. Then he was talking about what's his name, Boyce Watkins. And when I tell you he's bringing receipts after receipts after receipts after receipts, I mean, he was just going through the stuff that these people are selling to our people, man. Talking about the secret angel codes and if you pay this amount of money, then you're going to get access to secret angel codes and the money in your womb. Sisters, you got money sitting up in your womb. Whoa, buddy. I'm laughing, but it's sad because people be paying for this stuff. And then she actually came out with an ATM card, which ain't an ATM card. It's a piece of paper that's laminated. And it got the word ATM on it. It don't even include the price, don't even include the PIN number. And basically it's what she says, a talisman. It's something that you take and it's been prayed over, and you take it and you just say to that card, I got money, and whatever. And I'm sitting up here like, my goodness, folk be paying for this stuff. And then she sells her little hammers and all this stuff. And then he talked about Boyce Watkins. Oh my goodness. I mean, there was stuff I didn't know. Like he was going in talking about his, because Boyce, when I would listen to him, because he used to be a professor at Syracuse University. And then all of a sudden he wasn't. And so I was like, didn't think twice on what happened. But anytime he would talk about Syracuse, he would say, they don't respect black professors and all this other stuff. So he framed it as a racial thing. But what happened was this dude, Morris TV, he actually went to the Syracuse University website to look at the reviews, because students can give reviews on professors. They were not good, family. They were not good at all. I mean, it was just really bad. And then from there, he talked about some other stuff. Family, listen, what I'm trying to tell you is this. It's too late in the day for games. It really is. And yes, this is all related to what we're going to be talking about. It's too late in the day for games. You got folks out here and it's not, see, the thing is, you can call out these people and these people get exposed. And then let's say they just say, you know what, I give up. Let me fade away into the sunlight and to the sunset or whatever, never to be seen again. But guess what? There'll be another one that will come up after that. But it's the people themselves that are the ones that are really driving this kind of stuff, who are searching for someone that will scam them. I mean, it's crazy. I know it sounds crazy, don't it? But literally you have people who are looking for someone that will deceive them. So they'll say, listen, if you want prayer, like what Christina said, like the prayer cloths, the holy water, that kind of thing. It's like those things like that. People are looking for that. And so then it's like, if you don't do those things, then there's something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? But see, they're only doing what's been being done in the church for years. The church been doing that stuff. If you don't get to this building fund, you're going to bust hell wide open. And you imagine going down into hell and you talk, what you down here for? Well, I'm a murderer. I killed everybody. What you down here for? Well, I poisoned my husband. What you down here for? Well, I scammed the voters. What you down here for? Well, I slit everybody's throat because I was so tired of everybody. I was just having a bad day. And I said, you know what? The heck with all of y'all. I'm just going to go out in style. And then they get to you. What you down here for? Well, I didn't have enough money it was either my rent or building fund. I chose my rent and now I'm in hell. So I mean to say, so you burning in hell because you didn't get to the building fund. This is what people believe, and this is what has been pushed and taught in these buildings, 501c3 buildings. And now it's not 501c3, nothing. Now it's just on YouTube now. Every 5 minutes, hit that PayPal, hit that Cash App or whatever, Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, we got one too, but I ain't gonna be throwing that up in your face every 5 seconds. Dang, But it's but I'm glad. I'm glad for brothers like that who are out here and they are doing that work and exposing this stuff, because it has to be done. It must be done. Because family, it's too late. We done been through so much. Yeah, girl. When I tried by making sell say, pastor celebration. Oh my gosh, I remember that. I remember one time it was a church I was part of. They drove a whole caddy on the stage. I don't know how they got I still don't know how they got that car up there. And I'm just like, how? And if you don't give to the pastor, if you don't give to him, then you going to, I don't know. I just don't know what happened. Anything can happen. You get struck by lightning, who knows? Anyway, my point is this, as I'm taking this, what we're talking about, and I'm going to go right into this story here. Family, we don't need any more saviors, okay? We don't need any of that. You don't have to, see, the thing is, I know we want to, sometimes it could be very convenient to tie everything to slavery and all that, but slavery does have something to do with, the trauma that our people have gone through has us in this never-ending quest of always looking for someone to be our leader, always. And we feel like if we don't have a leader, if we don't have somebody, especially if that person isn't somehow blessed by white folks, then somehow we just are lost as a people. White folks always, their blessing or their approvals got to always be somewhere in the midst. Otherwise, I don't know about you. I don't know what you're talking about. Where you coming from or whatever. I'm serious. It's always in there. Always in the mix. Always in the mix. There's got to be some white influence somewhere in there. Otherwise, you just an anomaly or something like that. Well, that's got to stop. And it starts with people like you. It starts with people like me. It stops. It has to stop, family. So this is why we're in the era right now where we have to and we must question literally everything, And so like this stuff that's going on in Tennessee. Let me pull this up here. Let me pull this article up here. We'll start with the article, and I'm going to show you the games that these people are playing right now. It's crazy. Anyway, so as you know, down in Tennessee, they have a bill that they just passed to offer school safety measures, right? Now, I want you to make sure, as I'm showing you these articles, I want you to take special note. Use your detailed eyes, and I want you to look at everything here, okay? What's being communicated with words and what's also being communicated with pictures, all right? So I want you to take a very good look at this picture here. All right. And we'll read that and we're going to get into that. So you got Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and then Representative Gloria Johnson. I want you to take note. All right. Take good note. Notice it looks like he laying his head on her shoulder. Now, the three of these people, basically individuals here, this person here, this person, and this person right here, they just give me an overview. They basically took a stance against a bill that wasn't what they feel wasn't going hard enough when it comes to gun control. All right. And so, they broke, how a lot of these state, the Senate buildings or whatever they call it, Capitol buildings, they have a decorum on how you got to, if you got issues, there's a decorum that you got to follow. You understand what I'm saying? Rather, if you agree with it or not, you got to follow that if you want to be heard. That applies to everybody across the board. Well, they felt like they didn't need to do that, came in there with bullhorns and everything else, and they got kicked out. Okay, just as simple as that. But the House did not kick this woman out. All right. There's a lot of drama here going on. Okay, so we're going to look at this. We're going to look at all of this. Okay. Also notice that Justin Jones and Justin Pearson, right? Let's read this here. Democrats Justin Jones, Justin Pearson expelled during House vote. Representative Gloria Johnson retains her seat. Now, Someone please correct me if I'm reading this wrong. Now, this white woman here, this is Gloria Johnson, right? Hope I'm reading that right. So why am I reading down here representative? She got her title. But even in the article itself, Justin Jones, I thought they were representatives too. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm making a mistake here. But I do find that very interesting that they didn't put that down here. Now, as you get into the article, you'll see they put it there. But anyway, let's read the article. This is in the Tennessean. We're going to find out a little bit about this bill. All right. And then I'm going to show you the games that these people are playing and how to get the hook into your emotions. All right. The Tennessee House on Thursday approved new measures aimed at heightening school safety at both public and private schools, but without the support of 3 Democrats facing expulsion for leading a gun control protest last week. House Bill 322, passed the House with bipartisan support with a vote of 95-4 after a lengthy debate on Thursday morning. Representatives Justin Jones, he's of Nashville, Gloria Johnson of Knoxville, and Justin Pearson of Memphis all voted against the bill, as did Representative Tory Harris of Memphis. They said that the bill doesn't the root causes of school shootings. That's how they wrote it. I ain't write it. Anyway, while the bill was initially filed long before a shooter gunned down 6 people, including 3 9-year-old children, at the Covenant School last week, several additions were made at a legislative response to the tragedy. It includes several policies unveiled by Governor Bill Lee this week, including requiring additional emergency drills in both public and private schools and increasing security collaboration with state and local law enforcement. The bill does not restrict access to firearms. Okay, so it's very clear. While it may not be the full solution to the danger and violence we see in the world, it is certainly a step forward, said House Majority Leader William Lamberth, referring to the shooting at the Covenant School. When that horrendous loss of life occurred, it immediately showed we could not just focus on the safety of our public school students, but the safety of all of our students. All right. And let's see here. As passed by the House on Thursday, the bill would require every public school to lock exterior doors while students are present, subject to penalties for repeat violations. Another point is conduct annual incident command and bus safety drills, in addition to already require armed intruder drills. Another point is requires all new built-in public school facilities to install classroom door locks and secure visitor entry vestibules. It would also require school districts to annually share safety plans, school floor plans, and security systems access with state and local law enforcement. Require districts to have a threat assessment team. They are currently allowed, not required. Requires annual active shooter training for private security guards, and requires such training to be completed before being posted in a school. All right. And then for private schools, it says develop safety plans for emergency response and crisis management, conduct annual armed intruder incident command and bus safety drills, lock exterior doors, require private school security guards to complete the same training that public schools complete. Both chambers are still considering the governor's separate budget amendment proposal, which includes $140 million grant for funding proposal placed on armed school resource officers in every public school, $30 million to expand a homeland security network to monitor school threats, $20 million for public school security upgrades, $7 million for private school security upgrades, and $8 million for additional school-based behavior health liaisons across the state. As I'm reading this, family, I'm seeing more and more and more government intrusion coming in on the local front. That's what I'm seeing. See, and that's why I'm taking the time for those that watch, like our broadcasting. You're like, why you just get to the point? This is the point. If you just want me to gas you up on one particular issue, I'm not going to do that. We're going to take our time, but we're going to read this thing. And as we're reading this thing, what we're seeing is that both the right and the left are both working together on this. You got one side that's screaming and hollering, we need more government, we need more gun control, we need more gun control. You got the right saying, we need the homeland security in school, we need more of it. You understand what I'm saying? So they're both working together. Both of them are. They're just one's taking one side of it, and the other's taking the other side of it. Anyway, Democrats argued on the House floor Thursday that the House Bill 322 does nothing to remove firearms from dangerous people or stop access to weapons of war. We don't want gun battles at our schoolhouse door, Johnson said. We want our kids to be safe and to feel safe. So then they going into the whole gun control argument, okay, which we can talk about that. All right. In short, I will tell you this, how I feel about gun control. Well, let's take a look at history here for a second, because, see, this is the part of history that these Negroes, and I will emphasize with a capital K and N, Negroes that are out here making themselves look like a bunch of fools, because they are, and I'm going to show you some video in a moment. But first, I want to show you some history. This is history that these same people will not tell you or remind you of. Today, you're going to get a mini history lesson. All right. So let's go to this article here. Now, I've been known about this, and I'm sure many of you have known about this too, but let's read it again. Now, this was an article that was done back in June of 2014. Guns kept people alive during the civil rights movement. All right. Let's read the article here. One of the cornerstones of the civil rights movement was nonviolent resistance. During lunch counter sit-ins and protest marches, Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights leaders instructed participants not to take up arms. Instead, when violence erupted or force was used to disrupt their activities, people would nonviolently resist attempts by law enforcement to end the protests. All right? So that's the Martin Luther King that they want you to know about, is that he was all nonviolent. You Negroes need to be nonviolent. Y'all need to do sit-ins. When I hear someone doing a sit-in, it just makes my stomach just bubble. It does. I got to run to the bathroom when I hear people say that. But let's continue to read. But this passive resistance did not necessarily mean an unwillingness to use force to protect themselves from violence and other circumstances. This hiding in plain sight story is recounted to NPR's Michael Martin by author, professor, and former student nonviolent student nonviolent coordinating committee field secretary Charles E. Cobb in his book. And that's his book right there. Okay. All right. So let's read here and go into this right here. Let me see. Let me go right here to this section here. If you look at the early period of his leadership in the civil rights movement, particularly the period of the Montgomery bus boycott, his household, as one person noted, was an arsenal. What? Was an arsenal. Martin Luther King now. Now, they didn't say nothing about, you don't see nothing about this in school now. They don't mention this in school. Martin Luther King Jr. was stacked. He had an arsenal. Okay. You ain't never read that, did you? We ain't never hear about that Martin Luther King. Only one Martin Luther King we hear, he crossing his arms, getting his brains beat out. That's the Martin Luther King they want you to know about. But there was another. There was another king up there. That was King. It was Martin Luther King and it was Martin Luther King. Okay. All right, so let's read it here. His household, as one person noted, was an arsenal with guns all over the place. William Worthy, who was a journalist, tried to sit down in an armchair in Martin King's house and was warned by Bayard Rustin, who was with him, that he was about to sit down on a couple of guns. King was a man of the South, after all, and he responded to terrorism he responded to violence the way most people in the South would be inclined to respond. So when the Klan bombed his house in 56, he went to the sheriff's office and applied for a gun permit to carry a concealed weapon. Now, he didn't get the permit, but Martin King always acknowledged, if you read his writings, the right to self-defense, armed self-defense. Now, that's Martin Luther King now. All right, that's Martin Luther King. That's the King that they don't tell us about that one. They don't tell us about that Martin Luther King. He was stacked. They said his house was an arsenal. Now, what these fools out here want to get you to thinking is that by simply you possessing a gun, that somehow there's going to be a nerve that's going to pop up in the back of your neck, and all of a sudden you're just going to have this strong this strong tendency. I just got to kill somebody. I don't know what. I got a gun. I don't know what to do. I just got to blow somebody. And that's not true at all. Many of you have relatives from the South, like Martin Luther King, who had guns. They had guns. They had rifles. They had that stuff. And they weren't crazy. I mean, you got the exceptions out there that do some stupid stuff. But a lot of people, the majority of people who are gun owners in this country, they are responsible gun owners, meaning that they keep it in a safe place. You know, they make sure that it's away from the children, right? And they only take it out when they need to take it out. And most of the time, it's only when they're going to the gun range, or if they're doing hunting, and that's about it. Now, do we have a bunch of ignorant folks out here that are running around with guns and doing all kinds of, crazy stuff, criminal activity? Yes, you do. These laws, these anti-gun laws that are out here, what these fools won't tell you is that the states that have the highest amount of regulation against gun owners, they still got crime. Like, the crime don't go away. You understand what I'm saying? Crime doesn't go away just because you pass a law and say, okay, now we're going to make it harder. We're going to even make it harder, for people to get a gun. Okay, you make it harder. Then something else happens. Then what? Well, we didn't go far enough. Okay, what's the end game here? Well, the end game is to take guns away from everybody. Falls right in line with what these powers that shouldn't be what they want anyway. And that is to remove our right to defend ourselves as a people. They want us to do that. And they're going to use your black mouth to push it. That's exactly what this is all about. Because they looked at, the civil rights movement. See, you had a lot of people looking at that march. You had a lot of people. And what they do is they create an environment. They create situations. And they want to see, because we know these black people, when they use their voice, things happen. See, that's one thing you got to know about yourself. Your voice is very powerful. It's very, very powerful. And so what they said is we got to create a situation where it's going to be so strenuous. They're going to have to get out there and march. That warrior instinct that they have, it's going to come out. And we want to see who's the best of the best so that we can select which one that we want to promote and control. So you have people like Martin Luther King, Eldridge Cleaver. You had all of these other people that rose up to the top. And so each one of those, they say, okay, good. We identified the chiefs among the people. And so some of these people, we're gonna throw some money at them so that we can control them. Others, we're gonna make sure that, and if they don't follow what we're telling them to do, then we're gonna take them out. See, these people, you gotta understand, when I say that me saying plantation, that this is a plantation we live on, I'm not just saying that to be funny, y'all. It really is a plantation, and you got to understand how plantation owners think. Plantation owners are going to do things. They're going to create certain environments and certain conditions to see how you're going to respond, so that whatever rises to the top, they're going to say, yeah, you a good Negro. Yeah, you a good one. All right, so he rose up. Okay, he's fighting against this. Okay, good. Come on out. Let me see. Let me get some of them loud women out here, them loud black women. Let me see how okay, good. Come on, sister. Come on, we're going to promote you. All these other ones, okay, fine, but these we're going to promote. That's what they do. So they did that during the civil rights movement. And the ones that rose up to the top, they led Negroes on to continue the agenda all throughout the 70s. So we can blame the system, white folks, and say how these people were evil, wicked, and all this stuff, and how they destroyed the black family and all that stuff. But honey, you had Negroes that were leading the charge on a lot of those policies. That's the part people don't want to talk about. All right. So likewise, so now you start seeing these so-called leaders, they're dying or they're getting old, right? They're getting dusty. You see Al Sharpton looking literally like someone took an apple and put stuck a pin in it, big old head and just a stick of a body now. I mean, I'm like, he like, what's his, I don't know. Basically, it's just like, okay, is this the same album? But anyway, big old head and a little, how many of y'all old enough, y'all remember the little Pez things, those candy dispensers? The little Pez things, they got the little candy, got the big old head on it. Anyway, that's Al Sharpton. But anyway, these folks are getting old now. Jesse Jackson, I don't know where he is. I don't know where Jesse Jackson is. But all these people now, they're getting old now. So what did they have to do? They had to now create another situation. Black Lives Matter. They had to create another situation. Black Lives Matter. And so all of a sudden now you got the Black Lives Matter situation. They all over the place. Trayvon Martin, that situation. And when that happened, when what happened with Trayvon Martin, listen, you got black kids that are getting shot every day up in this country, okay? But why that particular one was the one that all of a sudden the media and everyone else got behind? It was coordinated, y'all. It wasn't because they cared about no Trayvon Martin. They don't care about no Trayvon Martin. Heck, you got black folks that ain't care too much about no Trayvon Martin. Let's keep it a buck here, man. When you got black kids that are every day being shot in this country, most black folks will keep on scrolling. I'm gonna say, oh, there's another one, and keep it moving. But it was that particular one. All of a sudden, CBS, NBC, ABC, CNN, Fox News, all of a sudden, New York Times, and everyone converged down in Florida because, oh my God, how can this happen in this country? How dare this happens in this country? They do all of that, family. When you see, I'm sorry, there may be some white folks in here, and this ain't for all of y'all, okay? But when white folks come to the cookout, that's when it's time to get nervous. That's when it's time to say, okay, what's going on here? What's about to go down here? See, we got too many Negroes that be cheesing and grinning when they say, oh, CBS is here, ABC News is here. The president, he's chiming in, and all of a sudden they get them bucking shoulders. Then you start, you start bucking them eyes and all that because you excited because now the white man's coming in. So if the white man cares, I care. If he don't care, I don't care. That's how it works. That's how it works. And I guarantee you can go into the news right now and you can probably count at least 5 black folks that probably was shot just last night. Media ain't care about it. Ain't nobody really talking about it. But if it's some white folks, they start getting on it. All of a sudden the Jamel Hills start getting on it. I'm so sorry. I'm so tired of all of this and all this stuff. Why? Because CNN is talking about it. That's how it works. That's how it always works. So Trayvon Martin, they ain't care about no Trayvon Martin. It was a timed agenda. And in that situation, when that happened, that's what helped launch Black Lives Matter. And then all of a sudden, what did Black Lives Matter train black folks to do from coast to coast? It trained us to fight. Yeah. You know how they trained us to fight? Hands up. Don't shoot. Don't shoot me, cop. Don't shoot me, copper. Hands up. Anytime you see a cop, put your hands up. You might be just doing your work. You might be building the house. You see a cop come, hands up, sir. Don't shoot me, sir. I'm sorry, sir. That was the same. They used the same playbook that they used with the civil rights movement. Civil rights movement was about nonviolence. Hands up, don't shoot was about nonviolence. They created the nonviolence movement because they want to test your behind and see who, once again, would rise up to the top under that amount of pressure where you could fight back, but you don't. You could say something that would shut it all down, but you keep your mouth shut. And under that pressure, it's literally like what you call it when you doing the when you trying to pledge. You know how they doing the what do you call that when you pledging? And I can't. Someone's gonna say it in there in a minute here. But you know when you pledge, hazing. There you go, hazing. This is literally a hazing. The civil rights movement was a hazing for black people. Because in hazing, you got to get your behind cut, you got to get beat, you got to get spat on. Tell me the difference between hazing and the civil rights movement. I want to know. Tell me the difference between hazing and the civil rights movement. And those who pass the hazing period, guess what? You get rewarded. And the same thing with Black Lives Matter. They did the whole thing again. Who going to be the first Negro going to raise his hands up and say, hands up? If you can raise your hands up the highest, whoever, then you get rewarded. That's what the whole Black Lives Matter thing. And it just literally launched the careers of so many different people. That's what it was about. So what these Negroes are doing, and I'm going to address them as that, because that's what when you don't know your history like that and you were to pretend you some kind of whatever, no, you a Negro. Because that's crazy. Because you literally are just ignoring your history when it comes to black folks and how real black folks, when it comes to how we feel about guns and the right to protect ourselves, how we really feel about this stuff. Now, like I said, again, I have respect for people because there are people out here. I got people in my own family that saying, hey, listen, I ain't down with no, I don't want to, have a gun. And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to be beating up folks and say, you need to have a gun. No. If you ain't comfortable with that, I understand that. And I get you. I understand that. But doggone it, in this country, 400 plus years, if you don't have something to protect yourself, then you crazy. You need to have something. All right. And a whistle ain't going to cut it in some of these areas. You're going to need something a little more than that. But with this pro-gun or anti-gun thing, what it is, this doesn't mean, see, that's what I'm saying. With politics, what it does is like, if you don't agree with one, then that means you're in agreement with the other side. No. You ain't going to put me in that. You ain't going to put me in that situation. No, sir. What I'm saying is this, is that is a bedrock for just people, period. I don't care if you're here in the United States. I don't care what country you're in. The right to be able to protect yourself, it's just a foundational thing that everyone, that's just a human right almost, basically. You understand what I'm saying? No, I mean, you got to go get assault rifles and all that. If that's what you want to do and you're responsible enough and you demonstrate the ability to respond, to be responsible for that, then what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? What's the problem? If that's something that bothers you, if you live in an area where people are carrying openly or whatever, and that makes you uncomfortable, then move. I would. You know what I'm saying? That's white folks. I don't play that. You know what I'm saying? So, if I'm in a neighborhood and it's all our people walking around with guns and stuff like that, because see, a lot of times when you see people just doing that just to do that, they just looking for a reason, and I don't want to be the reason you're looking for. Okay. So that's why I don't, not like that. People who are responsible and are gun owners, a lot of times you don't even know they have one. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't want you to find out. So leave me alone. Okay. So anyway, so this is how they're framing this guy here. Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson. I want you to see this video here. We're not going to play the whole thing. It's like 3 minutes long, man. I'm not trying to hear this dude. I am not trying to hear this whole dude because I see what they're doing. He's a Build-A-Bear black leader that they're really trying to rally behind and all of that stuff. So anyway, let me get to this. Let me get right to it. All right, so this is him right here. I want you to take note. Now, this was on MSNBC. Now, I want you to take note of how they are filming this. I want you to take note on how they're filming this. This was supposedly like a press conference that he gave. Take note. Remember I said communication isn't just in words. It's also in pictures and video. I want you to take note on how they're filming this. All right, so let's look.
We have Justin Pearson speaking right now. Let's hear what he has to say.
In order that the National Rifle Association and all of these gun lobbyists continue to be able to have control over our legislation. What's going through my mind right now is we need to fight for democracy in the state of Tennessee, and we need people not only just to vote, but people to show up and speak out so that we can end the gun violence epidemic that's happening in our state. This is wrong, this is unjust, and this is not the way that it has to be. There is a better way for us to live, and we don't have to live this way. But the Republican Party of the state of Tennessee want to keep things the same. If you want to fight to change it, if you want to help to make this place a better place, you have to use your voice, you have to use your power, and yes, sometimes you've got to get expelled.
Sir, sends you back. Are you going to take
I'm coming back because this institution has to change. The injustices that are happening here must change, and I'll continue to fight, and my family will continue to fight to make this a place that is honorable.
Okay, all right. So you get what he's saying. But you notice how the angle and the unfocused to the focus and all that, in every way, family, they're trying to film this. They're trying to portray this dude as the next MLK, him and that other dude, but more so this guy here. Even the camera angles they're trying to get him. They don't film like that, man. Come on. And then someone even went further. They put it in. Hold on, let me see if I have it here. This is the same one. This is the same clip, but someone did this just to prove the point. Literally are trying to frame this dude as MLK too.
Just to vote, but people to show up and speak out so that we can end the gun violence.
Even altered the sound a little bit.
This is wrong, this is unjust, and this is not the way that it has to be. There is a better way for us.
So this is a movie. What we're looking at right now is a movie. This is exactly what we're looking at right now. Like they said, the world is a stage, and what we're looking at right now is a movie where they pick their actors and they build them up. They pick their toys, you know, and they build a bear, do the build a bear strategy on them and all of that. And they're going to equip them. They even said Count Kamala Harris is flying on the first thing smoking on her way to Memphis. She may already be there now. She may already be down there now. She said, I'm going to meet with the Tennessee Three. To do what? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But anyway, so you see how they're doing it. I'm just trying to show you in these multiple angles and ways on how they're trying to get black folks, or how they're trying to use black people to push their ultimate legislations, their ultimate goals. What are the ultimate goals? Let's talk about that. It's to disarm people, number one, to get guns out of everybody's hands. That's number one. And to number two, to continue to push this agenda where there's more government intrusion. For those that are just joining us again, what we talked about is what's going on in Tennessee is a twofold thing. You got Democrats and Republicans. Don't think for one moment I'm saying the Republicans are the good guys and the Democrats are the bad guys, or the other way around, because both of them are evil. Both of them are working for the same team. On one side, you got people creating you got the problem, action, and solution, right? You got that. But what you got on one side, in the case of the Democrats, we need more control. We need more. We need to get all of these guns out of the hands of people, so our children, for the children. It's so funny when you hear Democrats and liberals talk about the children, but doggone it, don't you dare take away abortion from us. Anyway, don't take abortion from us. And so you got that, right? Then you got the Republicans on the other side who are pushing legislation where they're saying we need the involvement of the Department of Homeland Security down here, to ensure that the children are protected. So both of them are pushing more government at the end of the day. At the end of the day, that's what they're both pushing. So either one, I don't care what side you go on, it's same thing. You know what I'm saying? But so anyway, then the other issue that's tied into this as well is this whole LGBT thing. Now, that has nothing to do with this particular bill. However, they're really trying to hammer on Tennessee there's a lot of other reasons too politically, but they really, because number one, they're really trying to flip that state permanently. They're really trying to do that. That's one. But also, what I want to point out is this. For those that this same smoke that this dude is out here about, these guns and stuff. And we need the solution. We got to get to the heart of the solution. The heart of the problem is there's too many guns out here. Okay, well, let's look at the problem without the yelling, without the screaming, without the hollering. Okay, let's just look at what happened. The reason why first of all, the bill that they were talking about, as the article said, this bill was introduced before the shooting that took place in Tennessee. So it was already in the process, in the works, right? But then it heightened when the shooting took place. When the shooting took place, then all of a sudden, all the drama and all this stuff start coming in. Now, as it pertains to what I'm going to say, the heart of the problem, let's look at the shooter. Let's look at the shooter for a second. We've already talked about the shooter. The shooter himself, not herself. That's the problem number one. Problem number one is y'all addressing him as a her. And your party, in talking about Democrats, are the ones that are promoting this legalized mental illness. Y'all promoting that. And how bad is this mental illness? You remember I showed you the pictures I showed you? See, that's why I said, there's a lot I can say. And, but basically, I know I'm in the right place. I'll just put it that way. But a lot of these people out here, the Roland Martins and a lot of these black talkers out here, I'm gonna tell you right now, when it comes to the topic of LGBT, there's only but so much they can say to their people that follow them. It's only but so much, and they know that. People like Roland Martin, he knows he can only go so far with that conversation, because the last time he did that with CNN, you remember what happened? Oh, I remember very clearly what happened. He had some words to say about LGBT, and next thing you know, they snatched him off real quick, and next thing you know, he got re-educated. But see, people like Roland Martin, people like Jamel Hill, and many other of these black talkers out here that are jumping on stories like this. We got to do more about the guns. We got to protect our children, and we got to do more. And America's so racist and all this stuff. We got to protect the children. We got to, whoa. Well, you look at that here. We got to protect the children, right? And I'm going to keep on putting this on the Summer Jam screen. What are you talking about, Dwayne? What am I looking at here? This is the lifestyle that all of these people are protecting. A lifestyle that encourages children. Now, I can't say these are children in these pictures. To strip the skin off of their arms so that they can reconstruct or construct an appendage down there. And this doesn't go away. This does not go away. So they want the right for someone to convince a child to strip his skin off of his arm or his thigh so that they can get something added to their body. See, they do not want to have this conversation. And all these dusty Negroes out here, I'm talking about these talkers out here, they don't want to talk about this. They avoid it completely. Why? Because what I'm doing right now, you will never see someone like Roland Martin put this on his screen. He will never bring this up because he know black folks. And he know black folks, once we see with our own eyes what's really going on, once we get the full picture of what they're really doing to children, it would be a whole different story then. Because this ain't us. This ain't us. We don't do that kind of stuff. We ain't crazy like that. So that's what's really bundled in to all of this as well. Because that person, how's that tied into the shooter? Because the shooter is someone who was identified as a transgender person. And that, what I just showed you, is tied in to the transgender agenda. And these people want to say, it's okay. It's totally fine. It's cool because, hey, it's about identity and we got to respect everybody. I can't respect that. I won't respect that. And I will not respect that, period. And so here's more. Let me just show you this. No more videos. Like I said, again, I can't. The other guy, I don't know, y'all seen the other dude. He looking kind of, I got another one here. I did show the picture of him. Hold on, let me get to the here. It was another picture. Okay, here it is. This is, hold on for a second here. This is Justin Jones. This is Justin Jones. This is the other person. And remember now, I said I want y'all to pay attention to the pictures. Justin Jones, it's both of them here, actually. I just caught that. I want you to pay close attention to the picture here. So you got Justin Jones right here. And you got the other Justin right here, other representative here. Now take a look at the demographics of the people that's behind them. I want you to look at that for a second. Now, a lot of times these people, when it comes to Republicans, again, I am not defending Republicans at all, okay? So don't just keep that completely out of this whole situation here. If this was Larry Elder, for example, he's a talker for the Republican side, right? Or Candace Owens, and she was standing at a mic, and all behind her were nothing but a bunch of white people, you know that we would have a whole lot to say about that, wouldn't we? They're selling out. And look at the diversity. Look at clearly they're being controlled, right? They will say that all day. Now I'm showing you a picture of these two. So let's use that same logic. Don't back off of that now. Don't back off of that. We're going to stay right on that logic. So these two individuals, look, when it comes to more gun control, look at the people that they got standing behind them. This right here tells you everything you need to know. There's a few black folks out there. I hope they have some second, third thoughts about that. Okay. I'm going to go like some of y'all. Maybe they ain't real. Maybe they got masks on, you know. Some of our people, man, we be finding stuff on everything. You're like, that ain't a real black person. It couldn't be a black person. He was wearing a mask. Oh, there's some real black folks that do some stupid stuff out there. Let's just keep it a buck. But what do you see behind you? What do you see behind you? I'm out here to speak on behalf of all these mothers out here. We're tired of seeing who you talking about now? Oh, I see what you're talking about. Oh, I get it now. Let's keep it true. Let's keep it a buck. This is what is behind all of that they're saying. But see, what they're doing is they're trying to package these individuals as these are the new civil rights leaders, and all of that. And I just showed you the video and how they got it looking like, MLK and Malcolm X or something like that. You see how they do? You see how they do? You see how they do this? But I'm just showing you. So these individuals, you were just pushing and continue to push legislation that enables people like these individuals. And I showed y'all on another broadcast, these same individuals, even after this shooting that took place, were on, and I'm not going to show you because YouTube, you ain't going to gank me on that, on social media. These same people were on social media with rifles and guns and saying, yeah, you come after us now. We ain't taking it. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Didn't one of y'all just shoot up a school? Why you got guns? Ain't nobody coming after you. What are you talking about? So get the picture. You had a transgender person went into a school, shot it up. And then I just showed you what was recently, it was these preachers, these weak behind preachers out here talking about, the first thing I thought about, God, the first thing that came to my mind was how they gonna look at these transgenders now? Don't they know that Jesus loves everybody? Even Jesus was a transgender, and that's how they were, so you got that kind of energy. Not the people, forget the regular people now. But no, we got to protect these transgenders. We got to protect them. That's what was out. So what enabled this person to do what he did, and I emphasize the word he with a capital H, y'all are all for that. You promoted that. You protected. You continue, and so much that you have these people go into our schools and teach the children also to live their life. But you don't want to address the root issue. Instead, you want to come out here and you screaming and hollering and all this other stuff. They don't like our children. They don't want our, who's our? Who are you talking about? That's that sock puppet thing. When you say our, you mean white folks. That's what you're talking about. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I know my people. And a lot of our people, once we see the details on this, we ain't down with that. Now, you got a lot of our people, and you got to understand the perspectives, and that's why I'm saying that's where you really got to get in there. You do have numbers of black folks because they was able to wrestle up a bunch of black preachers. Of course, they're going to get a bunch. Black preachers always going to be on the wrong side of everything. I'm serious. They always going to, when they talking about, anytime you hear a bunch of black clergymen, they showed up to D.C., it's like, oh, Lord, okay, for what? Anyway. So apparently it was a bunch of black clergy that showed up, and they're like, yeah, we want more gun control and all of that, right? And a lot of these folks, the same ones that saying that, they got guns up in their house, especially if you're in the South, please. But they don't want to talk about what contributed to this particular situation, this particular shooting that took place, and how they're promoting this stuff. Same thing with you got some folks that are getting so lazy now. There was another state I was just looking at where they said that was it West Virginia? Yeah, West Virginia. State Supreme Court just passed and said, yes, that men can compete in women's competitions. Let me tell you something, y'all. Oh, someone said the Tennessee shooter was a woman identifying as a man. Oh, okay. All right. So she that was trying to be a man. Either way. But anyway, let me tell you something now. You got folks out here who are, I'm talking about black folks now, that are they're allowing themselves to be used by this whole agenda, especially in the area of sports. Where you got, I've seen young black men now that are saying, okay, I'm gonna be a woman. And they do just that. They just, and they start competing in these competitions. And then the other way around, I'm seeing more of the males doing that than the females doing that. But let me tell you something. If you have children and they are in sports, this is just my 2 cents advice that you did not ask for, but I'm going to give it anyway. If you have children, specifically daughters that are daughters and sons, I'll get to the sons in a moment. And I don't care if it's basketball, I don't care what sport it is. If you are playing against a team that has someone on there, I'm talking about if you have a daughter and you're playing against, and your daughter's playing against a team that got a male on it, don't allow your daughter to play on that team, to play that game. Don't do that. It's like I said again, the stand starts with you, family. It starts with you, because this kind of foolishness, I just saw something recently. Now this is in mixed martial arts. It's a woman that was fighting against a man pretending to be a woman. That woman got beat so bad. It was a black woman. She got beat so bad her skull got cracked. And I sat up there and I said, what made her believe that she can go toe to toe with a man? It wasn't a brother, it was someone else. So now that's the new form of entertainment, watching women getting beat up by men pretending to be women. That's the new low. That's where we are right now in society. And what I'm saying is, I don't care if you get a Martin Luther King clone. I don't care what preacher you get or what someone that's a good talker or whatever. I don't care what you get. There's some things, family, we got to talk amongst ourselves and say, you good? That's what I'm doing right now. You good? You all right? You all right, right? We ain't going for that, right? And that's what I'm doing right now. We, as a people, we need to draw the line on this, because if you do not do this, that's it, family, for us. That's it. There's still a lot of hope for our people, but this right here hits at the core of who we are as individuals. You understand what I'm saying? And this kind of stuff right here, it's, you see the foolishness and what it is. You got to call this stuff out for what it is, plain and simple. Gonna have these women compete, young ladies competing against men. And then likewise, brothers, if you got sons that are playing on teams in games where you playing against a woman, you better pull up out of there, because all it takes is you brushed against her or whatever, and next thing you know, you getting a charge. You catching a charge on something. You understand what I'm saying? So don't put yourself in those positions, family. Don't allow your children to get in those positions. Same things with in these schools. I mean, all the information that just on us, on this platform alone, certainly other platforms as well that have been presenting. Listen, by now you should get the message. Your children should not be in any of these schools, period. Now, if you can't afford and, a private school, or, if homeschooling is going to be a bit of a challenge, I understand that, but work your way towards that. Because I'm telling you, this is the kind of stuff that I came across some stuff just recently, some more stuff, very explicit stuff that they're teaching to these young children in schools. Got little bunny rabbits and stuff doing it and stuff. This crazy. What that got to do with anything? What that got to do with children? I mean, what the heck? But this is the kind of stuff that we see that's happening right now, family. And like I said, don't fall for this okey doke that we just talked about here with this raw foolishness. You good? You ready? Okay. Yeah, don't fall for this foolishness. I wanted just to talk about that story. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take a break. And then when I come back, we're going to get to the other stories too. It's like 1 or 2 stories. Those are very short. I did want to spend time with this one here because these people, they are all up on this story. They're like, oh, it's Jesus. He's rising again. Like, in other words, it's, what's happening down in Tennessee. But don't fall for that, family, at all. There's just certain things these people want to try to get you to think crazy, but we're not crazy over here. All right, so let's just keep it a full buck here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll get to those other stories. You're listening to Off Plantation Radio, and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, we're back. Thank you so much for tuning in to All Plantation Radio. Remember, we are simultaneously broadcasting over on mybondtube.com. And once this broadcast is finished, we will be, the recording of this will be uploaded there. The audio version of it, like if you're like, hey, listen, I would like to hear this again, but I just want to hear the audio version. Well, we got that over on SoundCloud. Just go to soundcloud.com, or you go to our Linktree page, and you can catch it over there. You can download it free, and there you go. You can stream it. The thing I like about SoundCloud is that you can stream it. You can be listening to it, and your screen can be off. So your screen don't have to be on like on YouTube. Like the YouTube video's got to play. Your screen is up. You burn up your screen. You ain't got to do that on SoundCloud. So yeah, check out our SoundCloud page. Just go to our Linktree page. And all the links are there. All righty. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get back into it. But first, we're going to jump over here to Samba Tree. We're going to jump over here to Samba Tree. And of course, I have a very special guest. It's always very special here. And you don't see, she's so special you can't see her right now. Anyway.
Yeah, you can't see me because this hair today, woo! Yeah, I'm gonna slide right here to the right or to the left off camera. Hey family, I hope you are getting ready to get into a very restful, peaceful weekend, and I know I am. I'm gonna definitely try, But I wanted to come and bring you another. I told you what I was going to be working on. I told you. I am looking for everything that can target high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, these common things that plague our people. And I found another one. And we've been trying it. Really, really like it. It is fig leaf tea. All right. Fig leaf tea. Now, the one thing about, I need to add this information to the website. Right now, what we have in stock is limited quantity. I probably have 20 to 30 units. That's it, because I want to see how you all like it, how is it well received? Like the avocado leaves, you guys love the avocado leaves. And if so, we'll continue to carry it. All right. So it's limited quantity right now, but fig leaf tea. So it tastes like it has a sweet fig flavor. Right. So it's fig leaf tea and it tastes a little figgy. OK, it's got a like a sweet fig flavor to it, but it's mild. And yeah, he's drinking it right now. I made some for him. Here's what I love about fig leaf tea. All right. Fig leaf tea may help you manage your diabetes. Why? Because the extracts in the fig leaf, excuse me, what they did was they extracted the compounds in the fig leaf and found that fig leaves regulate your blood glucose levels. Okay. So what happens when you take in the fig leaves, it exerts a hypoglycemic effect. Okay. And it has a similar effect to insulin. All right. So you literally are lowering your blood glucose levels when you drink fig leaf tea, right? So it's excellent for diabetics. Not great if you're going to put a bunch of sugar in the cup, right? Or honey. I sweeten mine with honey, but I don't go overboard with that, okay? So excellent for regulating the sugar, regulating the blood pressure as well. So the fig leaves, they have an effect on the cardiovascular system that helps you lower your blood pressure. Okay. So it's an antihypertensive effect. I don't want to go I'm just trying to give you the high points. Also cholesterol. Let me hop over here real quick. And Dwayne, you can page through those, you can go to the product page through those pictures for me really, really quickly. It definitely will alleviate constipation. So it's a good drink. It's a good tea to drink when you have some blockages that you need to go ahead and get that moving again. Weight loss as well. But I wanted to touch on the cholesterol. Just one second.
And just about everything she's saying here, she's got it. We got it posted here on the site
on
too.
The website. Yeah.
Yeah, this is good.
You like it? You like it? Yeah. So you know what? I won't take too much time, and I'm still going to upload a few additional links on the website so you all can read. I really like for you all to be knowledgeable about what you're taking in. And the last thing is the reason why I like having multiple things in the store that target similar issues is you may not want to drink avocado leaf tea every single day. You may not want to drink butterfly pea flower tea every single day, but now you have another tea that you can add to your cabinet that's targeting those same issues that you want to target, but it's adding some variety in your cup. So yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to bring you this one, but I do want to let you know that it's limited supply right now. And then depending on how you all, respond to it, sorry, that's my alarm. We'll go ahead and we'll get more added to the store. All right. But love y'all. Enjoy your weekend. And here's to all of our good health.
Right. Right on. Right on. Thank you. So you can get that on. I put the link in the chat. That's sambatree.com. You can head on over there and you can go ahead and pick you up some, especially if you're dealing with that diabetes. I told y'all, family, you think I'm playing. I'm really not. I'm not at all. I know for me, and I know for my wife as well, our personal goal is to eradicate diabetes. Our personal goal is to eradicate high blood pressure amongst our people. And we are very grateful and honored to have testimonies of people who have noticed a significant difference in, just in their, in that area, pills that they used to be on, they ain't taking them anymore, or they greatly reduced. And so, and that's really the goal, because these things I think these are low hanging fruit issues, even though they cause us a lot of problems, our people, a lot of problems. And that's what it's supposed to do, according to the pharmaceutical industry. They want you to stay sick. We don't want our people to stay sick. We want our people to be well, and we want our people to be healed, and we want you to be knowledgeable about it. So what we do here, of course, we have the store, but you can email us and say, hey, listen, when we give you an answer for something, like, for example, we had someone, I'm not going to mention any names, but we had a dear person that reached out to us to let us know that, they are, diagnosed with cancer. Another person was diagnosed with cancer. And so, of course, like I said, again, we're not doctors here at all, but we can put you in contact with people who have experience in that area and how they addressed it with using natural solutions and, mixed with people in the medical field as well. And so this is a network of resource that we are establishing here to get our people well. And it's a monumentous task, but we're going to do it. We're going to do our part. And we're really appreciative of all of you, as well, who have purchased from us and, and all of that. And we do not take that lightly. There's a lot I can't even get into. I will not get into it right now. But when I tell you there's some significant opportunities that we're looking at right now, that it's almost scary a little bit, but I'm telling you, there are doors that are really opening up, for our people, not just here, but all over the diaspora, to have access to things. And so that, because we're going to start using these things, and we want to start training and teaching our people on how to use it. And so that you can be better. And again, it's not always like, well, in order for you to get better, you got to buy from us. No. If you can find anything on here, you like, listen, I want that stuff now, and there's a place right down the street, you better go and get it. You understand what I'm saying? Because the end game is for you to get well and to get knowledgeable so that you know what to get well. You know what I mean? We just happen to have a store. But like I said, again, you don't have to, but ultimately we want you to get well, and we want to provide as much info as possible. That's why if you go to our to the community page here on YouTube, you see I posted a little animated little gift thing up there showing you up the Samba Tree resource page that we have, and it has a bunch of access to a lot of free documentaries, free books, all kinds of stuff that you can access and you can use just in your journey of discovery on how you can get, these crazy diseases eradicated, these simple things. Right now I'm working on my eyesight. And so I've been really looking into sun gazing. So I'm going to be talking about that, how to do it and how often to do it and how to do it safely and all that stuff. Again, we're just sharing knowledge that's already out there. We are not the experts, okay? But these are things that as we hear about it, make sure we're keeping that on the table so that our other people out there, they can be doing it too. Because again, I'm not accepting the fact, when you get old, this is what happens. It's just what it is. Nah, you ain't got all. Listen, I was at the market. Let me just say this. I don't know about y'all. We're going to get to the last stuff here. I don't know about y'all. But I have noticed, my wife has we have a name for this, a description for this. I said, don't it seem like folks, when you go to the market, it seems like people just so bumbly. I mean, that's the only word I can describe. And some of you already know what I'm talking about. Now, this weekend is Easter weekend, so everybody and their mom was out in the grocery store today. I was even going to call my mom. Sometime I'll call her when I'm out, and I was like, it's just too many people out here. I said, I'm just trying to get out of here. And it just seemed like folk just be wobbling. Years ago, there was a commercial. It was like a bunch of eggs, and they were going, dun, 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 dun. They were all like rolling like this. And that's what it's saying. It just seemed like folks just, I'm trying to get to point B. And it just folks all over. It's like they're trying to decide, like, now some of these people are older, so this isn't just people that are old, though. Because it's one thing if people are older. Okay, I get that. I can navigate around that. But these folks out here, I think is that, you know what? Because even like in the parking lot, especially, just people be like, I'm like, decide, please, so I can park. Please decide. Or when they trying to cross the street, you know how you driving, you approach the grocery store, right? And, they got the walkway where you can cross, people cross to get into the store. Okay, most people are going to go straight across. You got the folks that will go the long diagonal way to get over there. I just drive around them. I'm sorry. I just drive right around them. I'm like, come on now. Come on. But it just seemed like folks just be, I don't know. And I was at a market yesterday. I was like, I got to get out of here. Decide what y'all going to do. Don't be just stopping in front of me. I'm serious. So I think it's that too. Because it ain't just old people. I'm very patient when it comes to our older people out there. I get it. I understand it. Now, if you know what I'm saying? Now, if you cripple or something like that, I mean, come on now. Ain't nobody out here. Hurry up, but no, I'm talking about able-bodied folks. And they just like, just wobbling. I'm like, if you don't. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up here. I got one other story, I think it is here. And then I'll check on Twitter real quick here. But just as a reminder, around 7:30 p.m. tonight, we will be doing our Samba teaching over on mybondtube.com. All right. And so you're more than welcome to join us if you would like. And we'll be doing that over there. All right. So just wanted to let you know. Let me show you this here, too. Now, this is a funny one, but I tell you, I felt this one here. Check out this brother here. Someone said, when I see black people in places I don't normally see black people. And I was doing this a lot in California, man. Check this out. I was doing a lot of this in certain places in California.
That gives me motivation.
That's right.
That gives me motivation. Because I know y'all out here, I must be out here.
That's
y'all
right.
Have a big, beautiful, blessed day.
All right, brother.
Brotherhood.
It is something when you see your people.
Always stopping my brothers. That gives me motivation.
That's right.
That gives me motivation. Because I know y'all out here, I must be out here.
That's
y'all
right.
Have a big, beautiful, blessed day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's how we be doing. That's how I do. When I see my people, I'm in, somewhere, and I'm like, oh, we go, hey, you be. So my daughter will be like, Dad, and I'm like, no, I gotta shout out to my people, man. I gotta shout out to my people. When I see my people, man, I gotta let them know. Anyway, let me see. I'm just paging through anything else on Twitter before we get to to this last story here. I don't think I have anything else on Twitter. Okay. All right. So let's get to this last story here, and then we're going to call it good. All right. So Angel Reese. Now, you remember I told y'all, I said, this sister, I'm glad for the win, but I can tell already she going to need to just run away from them cameras, run away from them microphones. Because I'm telling you right now, it ain't, they setting her up. She needs to just leave it alone. And so, you know, she was on that podcast. We talked about that the other day where she was like, you know, the whole thing with Jill Biden and, you know, her saying she going to invite the winning team and the losing team and all that. So we talked about that, right? And just like whatever to that. And then someone tapped on Jill Biden and told her, hey, listen, yeah, you may not want to do that, right? Jill, you may not want to do that. And Jill Biden, she got you know, she got to act. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I find that right. Hold on, let me see here. Where is that? Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, Jill Biden, she got herself together and said, okay, all right, I'm gonna get myself together here. And so this is Jill Biden right now. She got herself together, and she already, you know, got her makeup together. She said, if I'm gonna do this, she said, I'm still gonna keep the wig though. I still gotta have my blonde hair. And black folks, the boule that was around her said, okay, that's fine. You'll still fit in, you know, because we wear our blonde wigs too. So Jill Biden, she had to get a little cup of act right now. So anyway, Angel said, hey, listen, we ain't trying to go. She was saying we, as in her team, we ain't going to no White House. We gonna go to Obama. And I was like, oh gosh, why, sis? You just no. Mm-mm. And basically saying we ain't going to the White House. And they were like, oh, okay, all right. Well, it only took about 24 hours. And Angel Reese confirmed she'll join LSU teammates in visiting the White House. So now she's going to the White House. Anyway. And you had some negresses that are on here saying y'all trying to frame her as some flip flopper. She ain't no flip flopper. You know, she just realized that what's her name? Jill Biden. She pulled it back. And once she saw Jill Biden pulled it back, then what happened is that the black boule said, don't you miss this opportunity. Don't you know how many black women wish they had the opportunity to go up to the big house? You know, and so, and then, they probably reached out to Obama, and he probably messaged her and said, you better go up to that big house now. So now all of a sudden we're going back to the big house. So it's just, like I said, all of this, the reason why I'm mentioning this is just, all of this is for nothing. It's just messy. You know what I mean? You just take your win and keep it moving. That's all you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the people out here that running their mouth about this are people that just want something to run their mouth about, you know. But like I said, again, it was just, she's an athlete. She was pumped up. She was excited, glad for the win and all of that. Sis, just leave it at that. You're going to have some people running their mouths trying to create other narratives. Just leave it alone. Leave it on the court. You won. That's it. But then people start going like, well, what do you think about this? And see how they treat white women and see how they treat black. It's like all of that. It's like, y'all, okay, we get it. Aren't there some bigger issues we got to deal with out here? Much bigger issues? Yes, there are. There are plenty of them. So, and we're keeping our eyes on this family. Even what they're doing as far as like, I told you the other day that the United States government now is looking into, actually there was an article that came out where the Federal Reserve said that crypto is a threat to the United States. So now they lifted up digital currency to a threat to the United States. Anything other than federally approved digital money. So there you go. You know what I'm saying? So this is where we are right now. So But either way, family, listen, just a quick checkup again. Make sure you do what? Make sure that you guys are collecting your water. And when I mean collecting your water, I mean, you're going to findaspring.com and finding a natural spring in your area or near you. Do the best you can. If something is too far, then you understand that. Get some bottled water and store it away. You want to store at least 3 weeks worth. Okay, it's not a lot, but it's enough to keep things going in your house. All right. So make sure you're doing that. Your water. Make sure you're connecting with real people. All right. If you got family members and stuff that got their head on straight, connect, make sure you connect with them or whatever. And you guys work out a plan in the event of an emergency, such as like a blackout or something like that. You want to make sure that you guys, you have something like that going on. Okay. Create your own networks when it comes to that. Okay. Same thing with, backup food supply. Go on YouTube and look for these, look at there's a plenty of channels out here, very good channels out here that talk about how to can food. You can can not just fruits and vegetables, but you can also can meats, chicken and beef. You can can those things, and they have a very long shelf life. Hold on. Things like that. So it's very critical, family, that we start doing these things and not just talking about it. Okay. Because again, these people don't care about you at all. They really don't. And these are just small things I'm talking about. Some of y'all, hey, we're going to buy a plot of land and we're going to get 20 people to live on it and all that. You go on ahead and do that. Okay. But, for people who can't afford that or whatever, who may not just want that option, make sure you're doing the basics here. Let me see here. Someone posted something here because I'm getting ready to go off here, but let me, they said, I'm here in Minnesota watching the broadcast. My oldest son passed away from multiple myeloma. Please pray for my family. Yeah, we're going to do that now. Yeah. And also if you, always you can, post something, you can email us at connect@journeymanandwoman.com. Not just you, Sandra, but people, period. Like if you're going through or whatever and you need prayer or whatever, you can always email us. Okay. And, we need to keep each other in prayer. Most importantly, through this time, family, we can talk about all these problems and all this crazy stuff that's going on right now, family, but on the real, we need to, above all else, we need to make sure we keeping ourselves in prayer, because family, we all we got. We are literally all we have. Let me just put it this way. All right. And then we're going to pray for you, Sandra. Okay. I was talking to my wife the other day, and I was talking about when you look at the wood in the forest back here, right now, I think they're dogwood trees that are blooming right now. They're all over the place. What trees do? Let's say if you just have a dogwood tree, one tree there, what happens? It grows up and then it reproduces after its own kind, right? So seeds come off of it. Where do those seeds go? Those seeds are going to go all over the place, but the seeds especially are going to be right near that first tree that was planted right there. So it's interesting when I look, well, not this window, but there's another window. You can look out and you can see spotted in the forest. You can see dogwood trees just kind of like all throughout the forest. They're nearby. And so it's by nature of these trees that they know in order for them to survive, they have to create their own network. Do you follow what I'm saying? So when you go into the forest, a lot of times, this is why a lot of times you'll see, for example, the nearby forest that we have, you'll see holly trees like growing all near each other. So what am I trying to get you to see? Nature teaches you the importance of creating your own network, because it's through your own network there's where you're going to find survival. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if that's happening, and when you look at deer, for example, when's the last time you seen deer hanging out with squirrels and hawks and stuff like that? They don't all hang out together. Now you may see them all share at a watering spot, But when they all finish drinking their water or eating, they go back to their own people. So these are things that nature teaches us. What social media a lot of time teaches us is the importance of individuality. In other words, you don't need anybody else. You just all by yourself. I'm just on this journey all by myself. In times there is going to be time of loneliness, but really, if there's opportunity for you to link up with real people that got their minds together, okay, make sure you do that. Take the full opportunity to do that because you need that, okay? Let's go ahead and pray for our dear sister, Sandra, right now. So, Father, we just thank you so much again for this opportunity for us to come together here. We uplift our dear sister, Sandra, to you in this time of bereavement, as she has just let us know that her oldest son has passed away from this unfortunate disease. And we're so sorry to hear that. Father, we ask that you would just bring into that household both peace and healing. I pray, Father, that she would understand and know that you have not left her, even though her son is no longer here, but you have not left her at all. And I pray that you would bring the healing that she needs, and the rest of the family for that matter, during this time. I pray that you will begin to bring back good memories that they had together while they, from the time that she gave birth to him to all throughout their lives. And, the times that she played with them, read stories to him, when he was a baby, bathing him and drying him off and tucking him in the bed and kissing him on the cheek. All of those are precious memories that are forever locked in her mind and in the mind of everyone else in that household. And I pray that those memories, that there'll be other memories that come up, that there's going to be some stories that people have completely forgot about, and that these things will serve as sources of healing for that house. I pray, Father, that they would also learn the patience of bereavement, that the healing doesn't happen overnight, but it literally stretches out in many cases for a lifetime. It's just in different stages and different phases, but you just have to learn to be patient and just go with it. And but we ask, Father, that there will be a huge deposit of joy that will come into that house as well. And we just thank you, Father, for the opportunity to uplift our dear sister to you. And we ask that you would just continue to breathe into that household, and that there will be more life. And anybody coming in there in that house representing darkness and, being negative and all that they'll be shown the door immediately. There'll be no place for that foolishness in there. We thank you, Father, for you indeed are worthy to be praised. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Father. Let it be done and so. All righty. All right, family, listen, that is all we have for you today. And what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and sign off for now. And remember, at about 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, we will be going live over on mybondtube.com. And we will be continuing the discussion on who in the L are you following. And this one, family, is going to be quite something. So you guys take care. Love you very much. And I'll see you next time. Take care.